No, because he's probably doing the thing. Oh,
He's not
God
doing
damn it.
I'm not
He's
doing the
controlling
thing.
himself today.
I was being quiet
You
till I
were.
wasn't.
Good evening.
But you weren't counting.
She laughed first.
If you'd been counting,
I
you
know
could have
I
given her the
count.
10 seconds.
It doesn't matter. Things happen when they happen.
Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. Let me introduce our boomer, Mr. Rex.
Good evening.
Asshole Millennial.
Hey, the internet.
And I am RisenLadyHeathen, female millennial. They both eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning. We give you the facts and each of our three perspectives from our literal round table. First, I want to say, go to our Facebook if you aren't following us yet. I'm now going to be making BoomerRexTonight original memes. So go check them out and share them with your friends. That's BoomerRexTonight.
Gonna need your help to beat
No
4chan and Reddit.
spaces.
There you go.
We do
Hives of scum and villainy.
we do own the one with spaces too. They're both ours, but the without spaces is their business page. That's the page that I need you to go and follow.
Now that you've mentioned it, it really does worry me every time when I hear the intro and like we eat, like sleep and breathe politics and like there's stories I probably missed today.
Yeah.
Because I just saw it. I'm like,
Oh,
I don't
shit.
give a who fucking cares what Gosser said. Who like
Yeah.
No,
I
you
don't care what that illiterate thinks about anything.
no, that's
Somebody got the word wrong. Yeah, add that to the
That's
list
like-
of words
that's like-
Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't know.
Yeah. Or little Bobbert and her tweets and you know.
The package of words that Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't know the meaning of would stun a team of oxen in their tracks.
That's true. But don't forget the goulash police.
if you have any fun ideas
What's in
for
Gestapo soup?
a
Yeah.
Boomer Rex Tonight meme, please text us, message us,
Right.
Yeah.
comment, like, subscribe, whatever. However you want to get in touch with us, do that. And I will take it into advisement as I begin my meme making journey.
And apparently she'll start social media fights with people, so.
Oh my god, I want to. Do you know how
Send us
much
Matt
attention?
Biden shit, the internet. Come
Do
on.
you know how much attention we could get if we could get some big name to pay attention to us? Like
I-
that's my only
No, and
goal
part of
in
me is
life.
like perfectly down with the let's go Brandon stuff, because like, motherfucker, come on. Like, we've got to show the government can work, not just not be on fire.
Did
Yeah.
you see the Let's Fuck Brandon? And it's
I don't
Biden and
think
Trump
that-
kissing.
I don't want.
And my friend posted
I'd rather
it and
fuck
he
the
said
NASCAR driver.
I forget what he said, so I'm
He
not gonna-
seems gentle.
Oh my
He
God.
seems considerate. I'm just saying.
Oh my god.
He has soft eyes.
Who?
The NASCAR driver, Brandon.
Oh fine. God damn.
Neither of the
Anyway,
other fucking sourpusses you were talking fucking lemon party bullshit.
let's
Yeah.
dig right into our
Yeah.
you had a
headlines and
whole
get
new
out of
take.
this.
What's in Gestapo soup? And I decided I didn't want to talk about
How do
that.
we come back to?
Gazpacho soup or
Yeah.
Gestapo soup?
Yeah.
Gestapo soup.
Anyone hopes Gestapo agents.
No,
That'd be funny. Oh.
don't think.
Oh no! Fuck off. That's what I'm making when the rules fall down.
Look
Ah,
what you
They want to go
started.
fashy.
it's cool. We got a great bit.
Now I go frappe.
There used to be all kinds of cartoons about that, right?
my God.
With the missionaries in the great big pot.
So we are off the rails tonight, folks.
right,
Let's
it's not the
talk
picnic show, damn
about
it.
space selfie,
it's-
Webb telescope style.
Nah, it's okay.
So the Webb telescope, right, which is still tuning up and so forth, but it did send back some photographs, and some of them have been released.
Oh,
One of them was a selfie
oh.
that shows all of its little mirror segments right
Working.
in place, right where they're
Being
supposed to
mirror-ish.
be. Yep. The other one was really kind of interesting. So they went to a spot in the sky where there's sort of one star, right? And they took some images. And then they sent it back. And what there are is 18 little images, each one from one of the segments, which haven't been dialed in yet, right? And so anyway, and some of them looked halfway decent, right?
Yeah.
Like some of them were, clearly had some cant to the mirror and so on. But anyway, nice photographs, and really a cute trick to get a selfie. So.
All right. So Canada finally says enough is enough.
Really?
Finally. Jesus.
Canadian judge has ordered the truckers to go home and end the protest after the Ontario Premier declares an emergency. They gave them a They gave him a deadline of 7 p.m. tonight, so we'll see what happens. But, 4.5 hour hearing, and he said it's over. It's no longer a protest, it's now obstruction, and you are to leave. So we will see what happens in Canada.
Yep.
That'll be interesting.
And I'm guessing that various U.S. Municipalities
That was
may
my
not be
thing.
as forgiving as the Canadians.
No,
I-
didn't you say something about there were some people
Inglewood mayor
roaming around
said,
possibly doing
Fuck
something?
around and find out.
Yeah.
No, I'm all about this. Also, there's several jurisdictions that have passed laws that says it's okay to run over protesters or traffic. Don't run each other over the internet.
Yeah,
but
don't run people over. I mean, just try to go another direction, or look at it as an
Whoa,
excuse to be late for work.
Another use for an M1 or an M88.
Alright.
Just go out and squish them. Well, you don't want to squish the people. You
Yeah.
squish the trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can push them off to the side with that dozer blade.
No, we are not going to play this game.
All right, so allegedly continues hoarding documents. What is going on with this
Did they
craziness?
miss some? God
There
damn
are.
it.
Well, there's been a huge fight over them for some time. And the National Archives negotiated with various Trump lawyers to get stuff and so on, and finally said, fuck this, we're going to Congress and the Department of Justice.
Right.
And that's when they handed over these 15 boxes.
So how
or
do
whatever
I,
it
like-
was. So we don't know what else they have left. Maybe a search warrant is necessary.
Just want to know how we superglued Delta Force and the National Archives together.
No, but as big of a deal
Hey.
as these idiots made about Hillary and a few emails that she stored, incorrectly on a personal server, he literally took paper documents from only copies from the White House to his home in Mar-a-Lago and was like, it's fine.
I don't know if anybody's raised the question yet, but I wonder if he was planning on auctioning them off. The letters to Kim
Not in the way
Jong-un,
we.
No, I don't think
those
he could get away
maybe-
with that.
No, I was expecting him to be talking actually classified shit, and I assume after day one, no one brought a single fucking thing they didn't want disseminated. Since he doesn't read the paperwork, all I need is work product, right?
Yeah.
I can get pages of nonsense. Wikipedia, print out low energy radioactive
Yeah.
reactions.
Anyway, no, I just wonder if part of that was the thought that he could sell them.
Right?
It's the kind of thing he'd think of.
No, I think that for him, he was concerned there was stuff in there. He didn't want people to have their fucking myth.
Oh, I'm
done.
sure that's part
I'm
of
sure that's
No,
more
that's
of
the
it.
Sharpie gate map. That's the.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Because at some level, I would love to. I want actually the list of what was taken, because then we'll see who packed it.
Yeah. Problem is, we probably don't have a list.
This is why, again, we gave the old guard to the Supreme Court and Congress. Let's give Delta Force to National Archives,
Yeah.
and then they can send some kids over.
To
yeah,
look
They can
around.
ask where
I'm
the
all
boxes
about it.
are, and you can say no, but
Yeah.
they may not call lawyers to ask questions. They may just
Just take.
take a tour of pointed objects in your room.
All right, Boomer Rex is about damn time. I need good news, man. Give this to me.
So 2 Dallas police officers have been charged over alleged assaults during the 2020.
Yay,
George
good
Floyd
news!
pro- Given that much of what we saw
Yay,
on
charged.
television, right?
Yeah.
Right. We had a police riot to get Trump a photo op where he could hold a Bible up upside down because he can't read.
Yeah.
We had a police riot. Much of the footage from Portland makes it clear that what they had, in addition to everything else, was a police riot. Anyway, these guys, one of them was fired for violating department use of force policies. The others are charged with that they fired less than lethal ammunition at people who were backing away and so forth.
These ones that drove around.
They cost one of them an eye and the other one it crushed his cheek. You don't shoot non-lethal rounds at people's faces, and you don't hit their faces if that's not where you fired.
Bingo.
So
That's what I
the simple
wanted out of
fact that you hit him in the face
you. Means
should
that's
be
where
a
you were
criminal
fucking
act.
aiming.
Absolutely,
Everything in that system worked right, except for you.
except for the cops. Yep.
Yep, the human part. The part that we can put
Yeah.
in a tiny cage and make sad
Now
about.
the sad thing is these are
These are people who've never been taught that life is very much a keto, and that if you use this level of force, you will get a response that requires this level of force.
Yeah.
Right, this is how you get a war on cops going, and you should ask the veteran kids in your precinct if you want to be afraid of every piece of trash everywhere.
Right. No. Yeah.
And I do not fucking hurt each other, the internet.
No,
I'm saying
no.
this is a cautionary tale. This is...
Anyway, this was Senior Corporal Melvin Williams and Senior Corporal Ryan Mabry.
Once you start having
Those don't sound like shift commanders to me.
No.
And so I'm wondering, where was their shift commander? Where was their captain? Right? And where are the charges?
Yeah, no.
Because this doesn't start at the foot soldier level.
Right.
This would be
This is bad leadership.
This would be a reason for me to hammer that police department into a shape that didn't have the rank senior corporal, and everyone would know why.
Yeah.
These two guys, these were the last senior corporals we ever had. Here's what they did. No, because that feels like the kind of thing you do when you're trying, right? You're promoting the incompetent out of the way, but you don't want them actually near the budget or near anyone
Or being
who might
shift
actually hear them.
commanders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right, that you bloat in the middle.
This is your answer to up or out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see how it turns out.
Fair.
But anyway, it's nice
Yay,
to see
charges.
somebody got
Yeah,
charged.
no.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about our dumbass of the day.
Oh my God. So, GOP Nevada Attorney General candidate says that her call to hang a black Democratic opponent was tongue-in-cheek.
I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline and figured one of you would pick it up.
Oh yeah, but not racist.
What was it, tongue in cheek?
Wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
She threatened to lynch a black dude and claims it wasn't racist?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure I'm following here. Like, fucking hell. Dumb.
She was suggesting he be hanged from a crane.
Oh,
So, aggressively lynching him?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Anyway, it was a former friend who leaked the message who says she just doesn't have what it takes to be attorney, the emotional maturity it takes to be attorney
Oh,
general.
good. So, a friend
And
of hers
she's
is
still
like,
claiming-
this girl's not good. We
Yeah.
need to get rid of her.
And I'm sorry, she keeps saying it's tongue-in-cheek, and I'm sorry,
Fuck.
I can look at it and
damn
say,
it.
it's
What's
not
the definition
tongue-in-cheek,
of tongue-in-cheek?
it's head in ass.
Fair.
I'll do that as well. It was also a text between her and a former political ally. Private text.
Oh, well.
Don't care. Don't fucking say it, man.
And beware former allies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're going to play that
Beware of
towards the game,
demonstrating your lack
rock
of
some
emotional
praise level
maturity.
shit.
I think that's more than a lack of emotional security. I think that's fucking racism at its best form.
I'll let her pass on the racism. All right, he's a political opponent. So
A
the fact
black
that
political opponent.
yeah, that's fine.
If he was white, we'd be having a different discussion. You can't talk about hanging black guys. That's just not something you can do.
Well, certainly advise
apparently
against
she can.
No.
One
She
shouldn't.
can, but that doesn't make it okay.
Apparently she did. Again, tongue in cheek, but actually it's head in ass. So
What's the
The
definition? of
ironic
tongue?
usage originated with the idea of suppressed mirth, biting one's tongue to prevent an outburst of laughter. Originally appearing in the 1928 The Fair Maid of Perth by Sir Walter Scott.
yeah.
So she knew it was wrong when she said it. She knew it wasn't funny when she said it, but she said it anyway because she thought it was funny.
I guess.
Okay, whatever.
She
I
said an
can't-
outrageous and dumb thing privately to a friend who later wasn't their friend. And this is why
Well, she
fucking South
typed it.
Parky shit. Yeah.
So
same
once
as-
again, if you got to do something stupid and immature,
I got a better idea. Just fucking
try not
don't.
to type it.
Just fucking don't. Just fucking don't.
So.
Just don't talk about hanging people. Like, just don't. Like, it's
So now you gotta the next one you just gotta love.
the
right,
Russian,
so the Russian art
gallery
gallery-
guard who likes eyes.
Uh-oh.
This is funny.
So the Russian Art Gallery has a famous work, which has 3 generic humans with no facial features.
No.
And apparently a guard decided they needed eyes and drew them in.
Because he was bored at work.
I guess. Or just thought it was an improvement.
Enjoy the gulag, Ivan.
I know. It's going to cost about $3,000. So anyway, you can understand why somebody would be disturbed by these blank human faces and want to put eyes on them.
Yeah, no, I saw the painting. I think he made an improvement to it. I think you should just leave it.
Yeah, there are arguments for
Seems a
that.
hell of a lot.
Right? It's an honorable scar kind of thing. But
Well, and you said it was going to be $3,000 for them to fix
$3,000 to
it.
fix it.
That's a lot for cover up.
Well, and that's the thing is they can't cover it up. They have to somehow get it off without, because covering it up is now that painting is
Yeah,
not-
it's ballpoint pen.
This is
They'll
like that thing
wash
that.
it off.
Oh my god.
But they will then cover it up. Because it did penetrate the top layer of paint in one or two of the cases.
Go.
Fortunately,
Slide
he
out.
didn't penetrate the canvas, which would have been
Right.
a much more delicate repair. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Anyway, and again, like nobody's ever even seen this painting before this dude did a thing. So I think if anything, there is some discussion that maybe this was done as a
No, this was the universe.
well, as a way to draw attention. You know, like oh, someone drew eyes on our thing. Come see it before we fix
That's
it.
right. It's already been shipped for repair.
Ah,
Lame.
lame.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a story that I want to share with you all before
Cool.
we move on to our usual discussions. 9 officers shot in Phoenix standoff.
Yikes.
So the story is that the shooter shoots his girlfriend, calls the cops. Cops show up. So the first cop on the scene.
Yeah.
Was invited inside and then ambushed as he's approaching the front door and gets shot several times.
A silly way to do it.
Another man, so he backs up,
Yeah.
okay, and calls back up and everybody shows up, whatever. So now there's a bunch of cops outside the house. And another man comes out carrying a baby, puts the baby on the doorstep, and then walks to the officers, where he is taken into custody. As the cops attempt to retrieve the baby, 4 officers are shot and 4 others are hit with shrapnel. So ambushed again, trying to save this baby. So 2 officers fired back and the shooter barricaded himself in the house. When the officers finally secured the home and went inside, the shooter was dead. They rushed the ex-girlfriend to the hospital. She later died from a single gunshot wound. But the suspect's name is Morris Jones. The baby is believed to be his and the dead girl's, but nobody really knows at this point. They're still trying to figure it all out. But these officers are commended for saving the baby, and they did a very good job. So well done.
Well done,
And I'm
yeah.
sorry they all got shot or received shrapnel, but they are all going to recover without any issues.
No, and we have a hard enough time making the kind of cops who can also write tickets, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there are teams on the planet that could have solved this problem because they would have gone straight up the thing and engaged the whole way up.
Yeah.
But that's or a helicopter from the roof, but really.
Well, and one of the comments that was made from like experts in the subject was like, there is nothing in
Yeah.
the police book for this type
No,
of
exactly.
situation.
Yeah.
The
Especially
absolutely
with the
committed,
baby
you
and-
cannot stop, deal with, negotiate. There's only a tactical solution.
Yeah.
Better to force it this instant, right now. And the problem is you don't know that's what you have until
Till
it's
it's-
happening.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, I'm surprised that the dude waited in his house as opposed to, call the cops, give him an address, engage from behind. Because, they're going to set their perimeter based on the address they have.
Right. Well, and this one cop,
Let's don't coach the other team.
Don't do crimes, the internet.
I think this one cop didn't realize that the active shooter was in the home.
Right.
He was invited in to
Yeah,
come help. This was a true ambush,
Uh-huh.
and I don't believe that this officer had
Yeah,
any
no.
knowledge.
I'm not in any way saying they missed a trick or anything else. There was nothing.
No,
You'll never spot it.
Yeah, no, I'm more saying because this is the type of thing that is scary, right?
Mm-hmm.
An ambush like this, as rare as they are super effective.
They train for people dropping their wallets. There is no training for this.
Yeah.
No, because the chances of you running across that situation in real life is just so slim. There's
Exactly.
no reason to ever discuss
It's
it.
like the kind of crazy that would make Claymore mines
especially
out
not
of,
with the baby.
out of yard gnomes.
Right.
No, and the baby, they were just like, they knew that this wasn't a good idea, but they had to get the baby.
Yeah.
Now, what I think is, this is just my thought process, is that the dude that was sent out with the baby was specifically told, if you do not put that baby down
I'll
on the
shoot you in the
doorstep
back.
and walk them, I will kill you both.
They can't get you to cover before I can do a thing.
Yeah, I will kill
As
you
the
and
hypothetical, hypothetically, as
There
the
was
baby.
the thing I read, which was fairly early, said there were no charges against him and he was not.
Yeah, no, they haven't found any calls to the home or previous whatevers. I don't even know if this was his home or the girlfriend's home. We don't have any information on it yet.
No, this is one of the many, many, many reasons I can't be a cop, because my answer to that is provide a base of fire, right? Everyone goes to firing.
Yeah.
Run up, grab the baby. Fuck that whole building. Pretend that building stole your lunch money. I don't know what I don't know what the worst thing that ever happened to you is, but that building did it.
Well, but I feel like the other problem is they didn't
Shoot
know
every
who
window.
else was inside.
No, this is one of the many
This is
reasons I know I
complicated.
can't be a cop, because my answer is suppress the entire front of that building. Fuck everyone in it. We're gonna save that one baby.
But again, they did a good job.
Yeah, no, that was fabulous.
Yeah.
I will be interested to see the background of this human. Is this just an adventurous cod child, or
No, I'm willing to give
did
the
Uncle
cop
Sam take this kid to school
right.
to teach him, right? Because police standards is the thing that came up. Like,
No, and I'm willing to give the cops credit where credit is due, and this is certainly a
handled it.
situation where they deserve credit. So, well,
yes,
played,
absolutely,
Phoenix
goddamn
police officers.
No, this is the part where it's hard, because they try and pretend this is their everyday, and the problem is they have no idea if this is every day.
No, but that's why we share good and bad stories,
Yeah.
right? Because we want you to understand
Yeah.
that it goes both
We talked about the
ways.
off-duty cop. who
Well,
did the
and
right
that's why
thing.
they need
Yep.
more money and more people and more training and
Yes,
so forth.
absolutely better training. 'cause-
No,
This
a
is
lot
another
of-
place where our social safety net just fell apart.
Yes.
and a lot of
On
the,
purpose. We chose this. We literally decided in the
And we
1970s.
cut their budgets and the.
We
yeah,
decided in the 1970s that we needed to double the number of police. We didn't do that thing,
Right.
and decided that they could call for backup, and they would wait, which
Right.
has caused several bad answers to exactly this problem. Right? There was a hostage taker in North Carolina, wasn't it, on the train,
Yeah.
where he held them off long enough till the baby died, because babies need water a lot during the day. And there's no good answer to these. This is literally why we develop SWAT teams. It's the closest thing the police have to a unit that can move through a building engaging in 360 degrees.
Yeah.
right. No, and again, a lot of the situations which we talk about, which go bad involving officers, are officers that are poorly trained, or officers that probably shouldn't be on the force to begin with.
Or have been trained to prepare for a right? They're trained to think about these situations that they don't have training for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they overreact or whatever. Yeah.
Or again, I lived in New Mexico.
That they drive up next to the kid with the BB gun and open the doors of their car.
Don't do that. Why would you do that? That sounds like a bad idea.
Well, obviously, because you had absolutely no idea that he might be a threat.
Which is an
Which
assumption
isn't what
that
they said.
no one competent would have made.
I know.
but
You stop far enough away, you get
from
out.
everybody, time
The
distance.
kid says, "Yeah, I
time,
got a
distance,
BB
and cover.
gun." You don't. Yeah.
Put the BB gun down and come see it.
But
Yeah.
that's a reason to be up on the road and be like, "Hey, you seen a guy with a gun, man?
Yeah.
No? Okay. You don't have a gun, right? Oh, you do? Okay. Here's what I need you to do.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm gonna say that from the far side of a vehicle or whatever, or
Yep.
right. If you're gonna get that close, you need to take him down and then talk to him after his hands are controlled. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying run up on him, but
No. Just tell him to put the
Instead
gun
of
down,
pulling up
put your
right
hands
next to him,
behind your head,
getting out of the car,
and then have the
on
discussion.
his side of the car,
yeah,
and then realizing, oh my God, he's
All
got a
this.
gun,
Nope.
and killing him.
I would let all of that go, except once you shoot them and they fall to the ground, you instantly switch over to life-saving actions.
Yep.
They did not. DEA agents, wasn't it? DEA, ATF, one of the
Whatever.
alphabet cousins, were the first on the scene that actually rendered fucking first aid and rescue breathing and did anything like an adult because.
Well,
fuck
and then
off.
they filed a patently false police
Oh yeah,
report.
no,
Right.
don't get me started. But yeah, so good job, cops, on this other thing.
Yeah.
That's fucking shithouse bad. That's like the marathon
No,
bomber.
well
shootout.
played
That's
for handling a fucking real difficult
the
situation.
nightmare fucking scenario.
Yeah,
A human that absolutely had to be burned down to the ground.
Mm-hmm. And you know
And
what?
had a baby
Like,
in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that none of the officers are going to be, regretting this forever. So good for that.
Thank God that human didn't use the baby as an extra stage.
I know.
Don't.
Carried him out as body armor.
Oh no, I was thinking like let the first anyway.
Yeah.
Don't
okay.
fucking do crimes, the internet.
Yeah. And of course, we're both sitting here saying, how would you get the baby back? Okay, so I'm going to put people in the foundation plantings, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to suppress the doorway,
Yeah.
right? Snag the baby, and if anything comes out of the door, it's dead.
Yeah.
So anyway,
No, exactly. Right. That I don't care about the background. I'm shooting well down a corridor I can't see the end of. Fuck everyone. I'm stamping out a lot of rounds to whom it may concern.
All right. You got anything about Omicron today?
just that we're dropping the mask mandates too early, but hey, go right ahead.
No,
Not a problem.
And you know what? Wear your mask, people. And if other people don't wear their masks, that's their problem.
Devil
All right,
take the
moving on.
hindmost.
Climate weirding. You got anything about that tonight?
I do, and it's really sad.
Okay.
So, government officials have declared koalas an endangered species in much of eastern Australia.
Oh no.
Well, they've had the
Is it
drought,
chlamydia?
they've had the bushfires, which they can't get away from.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
moved
not-
too
And then there's
slowly,
habitat loss and so on. So, anyway, koalas are now endangered in a big chunk of
I
Australia.
thought they had been endangered for a while.
Their populations have been going down, but a lot of that was habitat loss, and they've had a couple of infections that went through the population.
Chlamydia.
Yeah.
Is it?
Koalas get chlamydia.
Also,
Actually,
so does everyone going to Finland, you skanky Finns.
John Oliver has a koala
I
chlamydia
love
award named
Finland.
after him.
I want to visit Finland.
That'd be fun.
They all have chlamydia, apparently.
No, I don't want to go there. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, but if we know that, it means they put out.
You want fucking chlamydia, dum dum?
I want to wreck a Finn's high score.
Oh,
Oh God. Well, you have fun on that vacation. I will stay here with Boomer.
Barnabas, fetch the antibiotics.
oh. Well, then you have to discuss afterward. So,
No, he'll be going straight to the doctor to get whatever chlamydia medication is. I think it's just a couple of pills or something.
oh, is it?
And then a month later, he'll go get more chlamydia pills
Chlamydia a couple of times.
just to be safe. You have not. That's gross.
No, of course not.
That's so gross.
I thought it was like herpes.
No.
Okay. Herpes is forever.
Meh. Everyone's got HPV.
Yeah,
That's what it
HPV is forever, and that literally everybody has it. So
Well, just 3/4. It's fine.
So
yeah, it
sad.
used to be 1 in 4. Now I think it's 1 in 3. But anyway, most people have it. You'll never know. Most of you who have it will never know you have it because you will never show symptoms.
Good luck, you
yeah.
roach fucking crotch
It is
rot
what it
thing.
is. Deal with it. All right. Anything else? How did we get on this chlamydia discussion? Oh, koalas.
Koalas.
So what was the 70s like?
Okay, so we were
So we're
Vietnam
gonna hear
winding down.
his whatever, and then I'm gonna tell you what actually happened.
so anyway, graduated from the university in 72. Went to OCS as opposed to being drafted. In fact, I had a draft notice, but I couldn't keep it.
Lame.
Yeah, I know. Would have been fun. I should have made him make a copy.
Yeah, woulda, shoulda, coulda.
So that was 73. Was that before Xerox machines? I don't know. Anyway, would have been fun to have a copy. But I don't. So was in the Army till 76, right? Came out and sold computers for 2.5 years. It was,
He had a plant and a dog at one point.
What?
You had a plant and a dog at one point in
Oh,
there.
yeah. So anyway, so now we're up to 77, 78, and then went to the university for 2 years, and then went to a different university for 5 years. So the Vietnam War, I can remember watching in the day room during probably OCS, watching the TV, and seeing the South Korean army collapse. And that was after we had, taken the Americans out. So by then we knew we weren't going over there to get shot at for funsies.
Dumbest evacuation ever.
I,
Strikingly fucking stupid. The idea that you'd hold the airport. Anyway.
yeah, man, we seem to have done that again recently.
That we didn't fucking. I know, because Vietnam offends me more. Because Afghanistan, I'm not sure you can go somewhere and steal all the boats. I don't know how many boats we need. I know how many boats are in the harbor, and we're taking all of them.
True. Anyhow, but it was a period of chaos in the computer industry, because I was selling $30,000 systems, and one of my custom programmers said one night, he said, "Hey, come with me, I got something to show you." So we went to his little hole-in-the-wall office, and he had an Apple II that would do everything my $30,000 system did. And I took one look at that, and I said, "I know what business I'm not staying in,"
Right?
and got the hell out.
Fair.
Personal computers changed everything.
They did.
There isn't a comparable change. Internet 2.0 isn't a change like that. It's better, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember dial-up and message boards, and
remember
having to look up like car questions, and like you're hoping somebody has asked that, as opposed to the internet going, "Oh yes, no, for sure."
Yeah, I've got 400 responses to that.
To exactly that model and make and year of car.
With that problem, as you described it. No, it was, I think we were coasting. I think and the interest rates were going up.
Yeah, we had finished rebuilding everything from World War II.
Yeah, Vietnam was over. We were downsizing.
Cold War's intensifying, but in technical means. So not a lot of
we were building the next generation of a bunch of stuff, right?
Loads of fucking about in South America.
Yeah. Anyway, so not a time of huge growth, right?
Yeah.
So.
All right. So
On the other hand,
and the oil embargo.
On the other hand, we went to the moon in '69.
Historic-newspaper.com says that the major events that were happening in 1970s was the Vietnam War and the anti-war movement, the end of the civil rights movement.
When did they lose Cronkite?
I don't know.
You look that up.
Yes.
The gay liberation movement, the Watergate scandal, the Cold War, Roe versus Wade was happening. The first female prime minister of the UK, Ted Bundy.
Okay.
The first, I said that already. The breakup of the Beatles, the emergence of punk and disco. Fuck yeah, 70s. The Battle of the Sexes tennis match.
Oh, God.
And the death of Elvis Presley.
Wow.
Do you wish to know more?
No, I think that's more than enough.
Well, no, I wasn't sure if there was any subject that you wanted me to read like a brief description on. They have brief descriptions on all of these.
No.
The gay liberation movement is actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that real quick. So the gay liberation movement flourished in the 1970s, fighting for equal rights for LGBTQ people and the decriminalization of homosexuality, which right now in this, the beginning of the 70s, it is still, the American Psychiatric Association still considers homosexuality a psychiatric disorder.
Yep.
It's still on that list to get you put in a psycho ward until 1973. That was when they finally took that off.
Cronkite is 68.
So in 1969, the Stonewall riots took place, during which members of the LGBTQ community fought against a police raid that began at the Stonewall Inn, a popular gay bar in New York City. The inn was raided by police officers attempting to clear the area of, quote, sexual deviance. The riots are considered to have ignited the gay rights movement in the United States just in time for a new decade.
All right.
So it's the backlash against the free sex of the 60s
Yeah.
taken to extreme.
Right. And Nixon took us out of Vietnam War on January 27th, 1973.
Nixon extended the war till he could take us out of it.
Yeah, he signed the Paris Peace Accords
Yeah.
on January 27th, 1973, which brought direct American involvement in the war to an end.
Yeah.
The actual war itself finally stopped in 1975.
That's about right.
So. Yeah,
Wonderful.
I don't really feel like anything else on here is particularly. Oh, the Roe versus Wade. Let's take a peek at that real quick.
Okay.
In 1973, Roe v. Wade, the United States saw groundbreaking legislative change following the Supreme Court case of Roe v. Wade, increasing women's reproductive rights by a vote of 7-2. It was ruled that the court justices that the government did not have power to prevent abortions. So this was the, as we are now fighting over today, and is slowly but surely being undermined by dumbass Republicans who feel like they have a right to tell me what to do with my body.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
That's who they
know
are.
what it makes me want to do? It makes me want to like tie them up and be like, so what things do you not want me to do to your body? I'm going to do that right now, motherfucker. It's going to happen.
Again, landmines and rape are things I'm perfectly willing to make a war crime with some very careful carve-outs.
Yeah.
There are some dudes who that is the thing they are most afraid of. There are some dudes who get paid to carry guns who could get it done if they needed to. Again, you need a credible threat.
Yep. So how about taxes? What was happening with taxes?
That's what we're getting to right now.
Because I have a prediction. What we're going to see is we're going to see taxes remain relatively stable.
Yep. Fuck.
In the middle.
Nope. Okay. I like this.
We're going to improve the low end because that's a democratic thing. We're going to reduce rates on low earners.
Yep.
And we're going to dramatically reduce rates on high earners.
Define dramatically.
I think we're going to find the rates are halved, more or less.
Okay.
All right. What's your opinion?
I think everything except Nixon is going to keep the 74%. It won't drop below 74%.
Really? You've been doing research?
No.
Okay, this is your bet.
Nixon did the EPA, and Reagan was the one that really moved the ball.
Oh, yeah. No.
So Nixon had to have not moved that ball with the pressures that Reagan walks into.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. The Revenue Act of 1971.
Oh, my God.
Investment tax credit. Reinstated investment tax credit. No bias adjustment. Excise tax. Repealed the 7% auto excise tax, which was due to phase out in 1982.
Hey.
Go ahead.
No.
Depreciation convention replaced the 3/4 year depreciation convention with 2-year convention. What the fuck does that mean?
That you're allowed to depreciate certain assets over certain periods of time. Sounds like they've lengthened the
So
period of
they
time.
replaced it with a 2-year one.
Is that better or worse for the bosses? Better.
No, actually, the 2 years would be worse.
Oh, yeah, because you have to, yeah. It's total overtime.
It's slower, yeah.
Minimum standard deduction. Increased minimum standard deduction from $1,000 to $1,300. Personal exemption. Accelerated scheduled increases in personal exemption amount and percentage standard ion.
Okay, so we're technifying the tax code.
Okay.
This is where the really rich are going to start running away.
Yeah.
Well, the fun thing is they left it alone and they didn't touch it again until 1975.
Oh, cool. So what did they do to rates?
So the Tax Reduction Act of 1975, tax liability provided a 10% rebate on 1974 tax liability with a $200 cap. General tax credit created temporary $30 general tax credit for each taxpayer and independent. Tax investment credit temporarily increased investment tax credit to 10% through 1976. Minimum standard deduction temporarily increased minimum standard deduction to $1,900 for joint filers for 1975 only. And percentage standard deduction temporarily increased percentage standard deduction to 16% for 1975 only.
Okay.
And then in 1976, we have the Tax Reform Act of 1976. Standard deduction increased percentage standard deduction to 16%, maximum $2,800, and minimum standard deduction to $2,100 for joint filers. General tax credit temporarily extended general tax credit through 1977, maximum of $35 per capita or 2% of $9,000 of income. Investment tax credit delayed decrease in investment tax credit from 10 to 7% through 1980. Individual minimum tax expanded individual minimum tax. Estate and gift tax created unified rate schedule for estate and gift taxes with $175,000 exemption. Small business tax rates temporarily lowered small business tax rates through 1970. Capital gains increased long-term capital gains holding period from 6 months to 1 year.
Okay.
And Tax Reduction and Simplification Act of 1977. Standard deduction replaced percentage standard deduction and minimum standard deduction with single standard deduction of $3,200 for joint filers. General tax credit temporarily extended general tax credit through 1978. Maximum $35 per capita or 2% of $9,000 income. Yeah. And then the last one is the Revenue Act of 1978. Individual income tax reduced individual income taxes.
You were right.
Widened tax brackets and reduced number of tax rates. Personal exemption increased personal exemption amount from $750 to $1,000. Corporate tax rate reduced corporate tax rates. The top rate dropped from 48 to 46%. Standard deduction increased standard deduction from $3,200 to $3,400 for joint filers. Capital gains increased capital gains exclusion from 50 to 60%. State and local taxes repealed non-business deduction for state and local gasoline taxes.
So the deduction lets them write off more than the median income.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to look at, as we've been doing, the 1971 and then the 1979?
I didn't hear any rates in there, so.
There were some, but they dropped 4 or 5%. But no, it's the deductions is where it moves in first.
Yeah.
That gives them the big pool to start hiring lobbyists and all the other stuff.
Right, and they decrease the number of tax brackets.
Yeah,
so that the very rich are now lumped with the kind of rich.
Well, the functional rich.
Yeah.
The actual has a work product, like there's a building, there's whatever.
Now, a quick reminder, we're getting this information from taxpolicycenter.org, and then we're getting our the tax brackets from tax-brackets.org. So, good sources. So at $0 in 1971, they only have a 14% tax rate now. Last time we checked, it was 22, I believe.
Okay.
And then it's at $500 is the next one from $0, and they're taxed at 15%.
So that's still hovering around. That's like you said. It's
Yeah.
stabilizing.
Right, we've been jumping to 16 from here. So $16,000 is a 34% tax. And
Which
then
is already the difference between median income 1971 1979.
Okay.
so then we're doing 50,000 is 62%.
Yeah.
And then 100,000 is and up is still at 70%. And that's the highest tax rate they have right now.
And the 91 went away.
100,000 at 70%.
And the ones above that went away,
Yeah, because
which were the ones that counted.
previously they had
Yeah,
a
that's everyone that's at 71. Are we talking about?
1971.
So cool. $100,000 equals $694,192.59.
But from there up, you were paying 20% less than you were 5 years
That's
ago.
what 1%, like that's what boss accountants are paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so previously the we dropped to 100,000. I think there was 200 up to 200,000 last
and a billion.
in 69. I think it was
Yeah.
200,000, but before that they had gone up to 2 million. So they got rid of all the top tax brackets. They
Right,
just
right.
dropped them out in the 60s.
And dropped them into the lower
In-
rate
in-
for the
Right. In the 60s, they got rid of all those top tax brackets.
Yeah, that's a 50% drop in those tax rates. Mm-hmm. Which allows for everything that's about to pay for all the lobbyists and
right.
Right. So
Well,
they
and you
dropped
notice
from,
they got rid of the excise
Oh,
tax.
the
so
other
the
thing-
highest tax rate used to be 91% at the end of the 60s. Now it's at 70%. So that's
Yeah.
a big
That's a big change.
difference.
isn't the 70s the big fight over cars? Or is that the 80s?
The removal of the excise tax on automobiles,
Yeah.
almost surely to help GM and Ford.
Okay.
And in those days,
Now, reminder: the numbers we're giving you are for single payer tax rates. These,
Yeah.
we're not going to go through the joint filing. It's
Yeah.
just that's not what matters.
This is a
What
broad
matters is
overview.
the single.
yeah. So, in those days, what you would have had was a broad understanding on both sides of the aisle that if Ford and GM were in trouble,
Yeah, everyone was.
needed to do something.
Yeah.
So, that was probably, I'm sure there were lobbyists talking about it and so forth, but it wasn't crazy, right?
Yeah.
The import wave had started and they were struggling.
Hi, Japan bought into our bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then followed it.
That's what I'm saying.
So you called this 100%. So we're
Yeah.
at 1979 now. Okay.
Yep.
1979. This is what people were filing.
And that fits with our previous discussions about when it really started to come apart.
Rot
Yeah.
set in.
So what you have to remember is that technically these taxes are for the year before. I'm telling you the year they were filed, so there's
Yeah.
no confusion.
Yeah.
So the taxes filed in 1979. Now we have $0 at 0%. Now the first bracket you have above that is $2,300. So they're paying 14%.
Yeah.
And then we have, oh shit, there's no $16,000 anymore.
Hold on, I'm looking up 2000 what? What's the last number you
Oh,
said?
sorry, 2,300.
Thank you.
Sorry, you said 2,000. My brain went to the year, and I was
So
what?
$8,000.
So they're paying 14%.
Yeah.
So we do not have a $16,000.
60 times 2,000.
We do not have a $16,000 tax bracket anymore. So I'm going to give you. There's a 15 and an 18,200. So I'll give you both.
3,200.
What's that number for?
If you were employed at minimum wage, you were making about $3,200 a year.
Okay. So at 15,000, you were paying 30%, and at 18,200, you were paying 34%.
Yeah.
And then it goes 81,800 at 68%, and then the highest bracket at this point is $108,300.
Yeah.
These are such odd numbers. And those are taxed, that and up is taxed at 70% still.
Yeah. So a 20% break.
$418,236.69.
Okay.
For the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't believe in incomes past that.
Okay. So, well, we don't bother to tax them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's the same way we can fix Social Security tomorrow by removing the belief that Americans don't make more than $196,000.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you saw, we used to have, I think at one point, if I remember correctly, we had tax brackets up to $5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those slowly petered out. And then it went to 200,000, then it dropped to 100,000, then they bumped it up to 100 and change.
Yeah.
But it's just.
Well, the point is that it took away all the brackets above that,
Yep.
which were much higher. So these were huge tax breaks for the wealthy. Gigantic tax
They
breaks.
weren't at first, because at first they were all just paying 91%. Right?
69 or whatever.
Yeah.
They were
Now the most you can
now
pay
in
is
the
70.
Exactly. The 70s, they.
This is a gigantic.
Yeah. This is
Tax.
beyond.
No, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So this is the 70s is really when shit starts
Starts to
fucking
come
setting
apart.
in. Yeah.
yeah.
What's it like looking into the 80s from there? Right, are we getting hard because plastics weren't the future? Like, are we scared of the Cold War? Like, what's the change? But is it just...
Between the 70s and 80s?
Oh, hold on. So everyone coming home from World War II in the 40s would have been 20s or so.
Yeah.
So in the 60s, they'd have been in their 40s.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not out of the market yet.
Right. But they have bought their cars and they bought their first house.
Yeah.
Right. No.
When did they turn them into buddy fuckers is my question. Like, when did we stop looking out for the kids coming up? And it feels like we have, only only at the top level. Like, we're not yet tightening the screws. We're just making it real good for the bosses.
Yeah, that's my prediction for what we're going to see. The bosses have gotten these gigantic cuts.
Yeah. And that money's
unbelievable
going
cuts.
somewhere. There's no...
Right.
Right, this is
Right.
exactly the class of Americans
We
that
should
will
look
not...
and see when political action committees and so forth came in. But what we're going to find
movement
is...
conservatism starts in the 70s, so we're going to find a lot of it in there.
Yeah. So what we're going to find is we're going to find
Like Phyllis
that
Schlafly and
the
the Eagles Forum.
rich continue to get these huge tax breaks, but at the same time, the working folks and the middle class
Government going to
have
get paid.
seen, well, no, that they have seen that the rich are getting tax breaks, and you're going to see tax breaks for them too. Tiny ones,
Yeah,
but actual tax breaks.
when you know where all of the dollars you make are going, any break is noticeable.
Yeah.
So what we want to look into is when the rich started buying off government officials.
Yeah, look for when political action
I
committees.
mean, I'll point out that has
are-
already begun based on the movement we just saw.
That's
But
No, but I can look
Yeah.
into it a little bit because technically we have a 3-day weekend. We're gonna do our short Just the News on Monday again.
and history of PACs is going to be well documented.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna find real quick where that started, and I'll give you solid dates and what they were trying to do.
Well, and part
Well,
of
and
it,
what that basically did. And we'll also look at when you began to claim that companies could, but I think that's relatively
yeah.
recent. But anyway, that essentially legalized bribery.
yeah,
And so now you have a direct financial benefit to the legislator who supports what you want him to.
Boehner handed out checks on the House floor.
Yeah. Anyway,
Like that, I'm offended. Like the criminal bits of me.
that
are
should be a
offended
hanging offense.
at that simply on that's bad fucking tradecraft.
Bad
what
form.
the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it should also be a hanging offense.
Yeah, I'm down. I don't like Boehner getting into weed. It's like him and Bieber making it uncool to smoke
Oh,
weed.
God. Can you imagine the two of them? The orange man from Tennessee? Where's Boehner from?
I think that sounds right. John Boehner.
No, so I think the question is here, do we want to continue right on through? to current taxes.
I think so.
And I think so too, because I think it's going to be important to watch these numbers and how they
Ohio.
move.
Oh, okay.
Singer would be offended.
Yeah, true.
And I'm curious to see if we start seeing more and more and more tax laws being put in each decade.
Your
change
histories
these
probably
things.
won't cover that as well. But
Tell you right now.
with the birth of the PACs, one of the things you're going to see
Yes.
is artificial tax barriers to entry in various.
We need to go to Ohio
Why?
because Jamie Farr is still alive, and I'm going to use him to rain fire on John Boehner.
Oh my God!
Just as a personal attack, just to attack
So-
him financially.
So taxpolicycenter.org gives me laws and proposals. So major enacted tax legislations all the way up to 2019.
Okay.
And then I'll have to start Googling for new.
That's after
Yeah.
Citizens United. So
Yeah. But you're going to see more and more. You're going to see more and more,
Holy shit.
specially crafted tax breaks.
The 1980s have look at this list for the 1980s. Those are all laws that were passed for taxes in the 1980s.
Yeah.
This is going to be okay. Our next episode is going to be quite filled with lots of
Yeah.
things.
Well, see now.
I found it out.
Do you want to see this list of 1980s
No, I
tax?
want to tell you how scary it is to pee in the yard with a goose walking towards you.
Ooh,
'Cause
and
I'm
wondering
fucking
what it
gross.
is they might eat.
I only care about one thing, so.
These are all tax laws from the 1980s.
And so what
like
you're
a book.
seeing there is the
It's the 40s all over again. There's one at least every year.
no, but what
Yeah, but
you're
even
going
the 40s didn't have this many.
Yeah.
what you're going to be seeing now is that we have lowered the tax rates so much that we are building the deficit
was why
and so
Reagan-
forth. These
yeah.
are all band-aids.
This is why Reagan
Right,
raised
to
the
try-
tax rate 11 times after he cut that bracket.
So
No, that was why I was banking on this would stay fairly standard. And I had misjudged the size of the amount of change when you're taking the bosses, right, when you're moving the brackets.
yeah.
I hadn't realized that started under Nixon. That's because, again, it's the one thing I actually have to give Nixon credit for is the EPA and
Do we want
Yep.
to quickly look at what's going on in 1975 or no?
what did something. Did I miss something about 75? in
No, I
particular?
mean just so
Is
because
it
we
middle
have
part?
we have the beginning and the end.
No,
Do you
I think
care
that-
I
about
think
the
we're
middle.
fine.
Yeah, I think we've got the same trend line, and the 75 is going to be either above or below, but still
Yeah.
within line to where we're headed.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the rich have begun to disconnect themselves.
Yeah. Which is
And-
why the 80s is efficiency experts, and the 90s is digitization.
All right. We'll look for those trends.
No, but it's where we pumped a shit ton of money
Yep, true.
with very little understanding of what we were getting, and right with the efficiency
thank
expert,
God.
no understanding of the social network. Your job
Much
is.
shorter list for the 90s. Thank
Yeah.
God.
But some of those are incredibly damaging. Glass-Steagall and anyway. So no, I like the 80s because I have at least some vague reference point in terms of taking data is a strong word. I was around for parts of it.
Yep, true.
Yep. No. So this is it. All right. So the next. Yeah. This is. So the 80s is where I'm gonna here's my bet. The 80s are where shit's gonna get real bad real quick.
I think we've already gotten that. I think
We've certainly taken the first steps toward it.
yeah.
But there's still see, I'm still kind of okay because the people who are making tons of money are still being taxed
Yeah, they're paying
at 70%.
something. Yeah.
Which is still a reasonable amount. I'm fine with 70%.
Yeah.
My
Oh my
problem
God,
comes
could you
in.
imagine?
I am very curious to see
Yeah.
what the actual tax brackets are for today.
Yeah.
And then all you have to do is look at, they gave $1 million to whatever. They don't have to pay taxes on that.
Yeah.
So that's $1 million that they.
No, it's batshit insane. It's $40 billion a year to secure the comfortable retirement of every American. It's right? These rounding errors of numbers when we compare to like military expenditure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
For
and-
the vanity space flights.
Yeah.
No, and I'm going to be honest with you. If I ever get a chance to look a billionaire in the eye, I have one question for them, and I'm going to run them through the ringer to get a
Yeah, me
fucking
too.
straight answer. And my one question for them is not, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
You're
Even
fucking
though,
space adopted.
even though that is a wonderful question, and I appreciate you for calling that out, and I'll leave that to you. But my question for them would be, why?
Yeah.
What are you doing with these billions of dollars?
Yeah.
Bragging to the other kids at Morocco.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I.
No,
Building
because
a
they're gonna
yacht.
say
Building a yacht
they're gonna
where
say
they have to take a bridge down to
No, but
turn
that's
it
my point.
loose,
My
which I
point
hope
is-
they won't.
no. My point is that they're gonna say, oh well, I did this. Okay, what'd you do with the rest of the billion? Oh well, I'm
Yeah.
doing this with this much money. Okay, what'd you do with the rest of it? What is the purpose? Because honestly, with these billions of dollars, they could solve so many human problems, humanity problems, and they still will have billions when they're
I think that's
done.
the thing. Like, if I had $2 million, I would vanish and no one would ever hear, see, or like whatever from me again. I have no idea.
You'll find me
what
on
I'd
some
do with $1
tropical
billion.
island somewhere, sipping margaritas.
Or, hey, one of you, sometime before, like, once you find out you got a terminal thing, just bump off some other billionaires. Don't bump each other off, billionaires, but.
No, billionaires, you do you.
I don't say what
I'm not
billionaires
your
should-
who you shoot
I'm not
supervisor.
your
You
morality
do
supervisor.
Yeah.
you. I don't care what you do if you're a billionaire. I know you're not going to jail. You know you're not going to jail.
Just
Nobody
saying, if
gives a
you're gonna
fuck.
kill the planet, kill some of each other too.
Yeah, seriously, god damn. Oh, you know what one of you should do?
That's
one
the
of you
ultimate
should
fucking
build
money.
a rocket to shoot down one of the other assholes' rockets when they're trying to go into space. Do that. That's what I say they should do. with
Like,
the
comment,
billions of dollars.
subscribe for more things of Risen.
I will admit,
Go
having,
the
Hatred.
1% into fucking stuff.
I
with
will
knowledge.
admit, having watched a vanity space flight, vaguely hoping that it would explode.
Yeah, fair.
See, you're nicer than me. There was no vaguely hoping. There was active praying to any god I could think of. Let it explode. Let it explode. Let it
Oh.
Please blow up. Please blow up.
Right. Or just not have the parachutes open, which would be equally amazing.
That'd be good.
Oh.
That's true. I was
Anyway.
willing to trade Shatner for that.
I love Shatner.
Me
I
too.
really do. And I'm
Absolutely.
happy he got into
Goddamn-lutely.
space. What
Yep.
I'm mad about is the fact that these fucking because
I'm mad.
Shatner does not have billions of dollars. He's got millions of dollars. Fine, whatever.
I'm mad that that dead-eyed billionaire Jeff Bezos had to try and like crib off everyone else's answers because he knew he went to space and should have felt nothing, and the sucking noise that is there instead of a soul didn't change, didn't have any response. He just thought, "Shit, fuck, I'm high."
Yeah. No, and that's
No, because you
that's
can see
the thing that
Shatner saw
bothers
the
me.
same thing. Shatner had the blue marble effect. Shatner understood our tiny little drop of dirt and mud in imagination
No, but again,
of space.
you think of Shatner, right? He spent years
Yeah.
playing a captain of an
Yeah.
like the Starship Enterprise. That's what he
For
was.
better or worse,
This
and
was
he's
his-
done for better or worse.
This was his chance to see
Yeah,
what he would have for real seen if he
In
had
orbit.
been.
be a real man in space.
And you know what? I think that affected him, and that makes me happy.
Yeah. No,
What
it
I'm
affects all the
unhappy
humans
about
that go to space.
is that these fucking billionaires, it means nothing to them except, oh, I went into space. Huh?
Well,
I
Here's my
did
finger.
better than the
Fuck
other
you.
one. My
I
missile
think-
goes higher.
I
or further.
think that they should, do something where they take people, like random poor people, us poorer people, and take us into space.
No.
Where we can actually fucking appreciate it.
got 3 volunteers right here.
Yeah, fucking take me
You
to
know,
space.
go on a vanity
And I
space
will
flight.
talk about how amazing it is, and I will sing your praises for exactly a month.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back to shitting on you. But you'll get a month of me keeping my mouth shut and saying nothing but good things about you.
Which is certainly worth a,
Sure.
you
It's
know,
worth something.
$300,000 space flight.
Yeah, fucking, I don't care. You got money to burn. Burn it on me, motherfucker. Shit. All right, I've
Good
bitched
night,
about billionaires enough tonight.
Okay.
So for more shitting on billionaires, people, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, heart. Tell us what you think. Do you love us? Do you hate us? If you hate us,
For Risen's anarchist
Please.
reading room.
please tell me so that I can have so much fun with you.
Those are the
but
ones we're always shooting at with
I
comments.
know.
That's what I like talking to you about. Because like everyone else is saying that too. They're like, "What do you mean? We're gonna die because we can't remember history from less than 100 years ago."
We love you all, and we'll see you back here Monday night for Boomer tonight. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Meanwhile, in Florida, it is not raining, whatever they are.
Oh, Jesus, you can't even get it right.